It flowed better without the notes, right? I mean, you think it was okay? You come up with some good ideas, Megan. Season 2, the startup. This is where you're going to risk it all. Talking about proof of concept today. I get this question a lot. How can I do proof of concept in the marketplace in my industry? How can I do that and not go bankrupt? How do I do that without spending money I don't have? It's a great question. It needs to be done. It needs to be done more frequently than it's actually done. And let's talk about how you do that. I mean, how can I do that and keep everything intact? What is proof of concept? What's that even mean? It's a term used in business. It's used in engineering a lot. Talk about a couple things. We'll talk about service industry and then an actual physical product on the other side. Probably easier to talk about physical product. I mean, does it work or does it not work? And I guess the other side of that is, do customers want this or do they not want it? Do they need it or do they not need it? And we're all, it's a hypothesis, I believe these people need this product or want this product, or I can make it in this industry. Could be proof of concept also. I think the latter is more what we're talking about, but just the definition itself, let's talk about what that looks like. Think of several examples I've talked through this week. We talk about MVP. Love that concept, right? It's a minimally viable product, right? How do we do that and why do we do that? Well, do we have a pop-up restaurant? When would we do that? A pop-up restaurant, maybe before we open a restaurant. It's going to cost some money for the pop-up, but let's spend a little bit of money before we go spend a lot of money. Let's do a pop-up over here. Do people like our food? Is this a good location? Maybe it's a food truck, and we go to different areas. Could I rent the food truck? Maybe there's a way to do something that's less expensive to try and, I don't know all the details about food and restaurants. It's just an example. If we're in the auto industry and we're trying to build a new transmission, obviously we might do it on a printer first. Let's print out a prototype, right? And then let's build it. And what happens if you're building a transmission? Well, guess what? We put it in the car and it works. If we're in that business, we know how to do that. We put it in there and it works, but it's loud. What causes noise? It's vibration. So if you look at a transmission, you'll see these little 1-inch raised sections of metal around that transmission. Why is that there? Why isn't it just smooth? Well, that denses noise or lessens the vibration, and that's what they're testing. I mean, there's a million things those engineers will test. Proof of concept. Trying to prove, is this a viable product before we spend probably hundreds of millions of dollars for a product line and producing this thing over the next 10 years. Let's put a little bit of money into it. So my point here is everything's relative to what you're doing. I mean, how much money does it cost to rent a food truck and go from place to place, and it's your time, and what's food actually cost, opposed to what's the time and resources to build a transmission? It's all commensurate with whatever we're doing. Maybe you're in the service industry. How do we do that? And I'm really big on, can I still function and run my company? Can I find a way to prove these other things without costing me any money? I don't have a lot of money to spend. And I got asked, is it even possible in the service industry to do proof of concept? I said, yeah, absolutely. And we've done it. Tell you what that looks like. We're roofing. We're in the roofing business. As we're growing, I wanted to add crews. Needed to add more people. I knew the market's getting thin, meaning all the quality roofers, experienced roofers are working somewhere. So can we build a crew? Well, it's kind of a scary thing. I've got this fantastic rating or reputation that I want to keep. I don't want to put new people, don't get me wrong, it's not 5 brand new people in a crew on a roof. It's not what I'm talking about. But even taking 3 experienced people, and they've got a brother, they've got a cousin, they've got a friend that wants to learn the business. If you got 2 new people, I mean, 40% of the crew's inexperienced. It's not going to be fluid. They're not going to flow like the guys that have worked together for 10 years. If you watch those guys on the roof, they're in there, they're there and gone in 1 or 2 days on a normal house, gone. And if you're watching them, they're not even talking. Everything is just flowing. It's in rhythm. They know what to do. They do it every single day for years. Well, when we get that new crew, it doesn't work that way. Because everybody doesn't know their place, mistakes and things can happen. Here's what I did. Got with a national home builder, and national home builders, nothing against those guys, but the pay's not great. Okay? The income, the money's low. I've got my theory about that whole thing. I think a lot of times roofers go there because they don't want to lose their crews. There could be other reasons. I got with the national home builder and I said, here's the deal. We'll come over and we'll build some roofs. They were excited. They said, you guys are great roofers. We can't believe that you're actually taking on some of our projects. I said, 100%. We'll do it. We'll do it the best of our ability. Here's what I can guarantee you. When I get done, everything will be right. But here's what I'm doing. I want full disclosure. I want to tell you what's happening here. I've got a couple new guys, and we'll go over everything. We'll make sure the roof's solid, but we may have to come back and correct an error here or there. They were willing to work with us, and we were willing to work with them. Got those crews to where they were all on the same page, in sync, had a rhythm before I took them and put them out here on someone else's house where you only get one shot. I mean, you're there for a day. You can't stay there for 5 days as a learning on a learning curve, right? Can't do that. Where we could do it over here with national home builders. The other thing I found, I'm going to throw this in proof of concept. This line kind of moves or gets a little blurred, and you make it work for your business. I wanted to try some new products. Well, is it proof of concept now for the vendor, for the manufacturer? Yeah, I'm helping them out and they're helping me out. Over and over in business, as we talk about business in general, it's relationships. And I was able to build some relationships. Nobody on a roof that's in the rhythm going from place to place to place that knows their materials wants to try something new. I mean, we've already got something working. Will we try something new? You'll find some guys once in a while on a special occasion. But where we were at, I was able to get with my experienced guys on the roof, the guys, and I threw a little more resources at it. We got some guys teaching and mentoring and coaching so that we don't just throw these young guys to the wolves. Those guys, hey, let's try a different underlayment. Hey, give me a couple rolls. Let's see what's going on. Give me enough rolls for a couple roofs, and I'll give you some feedback. It was able also to cut some of our cost, so we were a little more profitable. Let's try out, what's the difference in these boots? Instead of just a lead pipe flashing, the bullet boots, etc. Not trying to drop name brands here. Bullet boots, awesome material. But let's try that out and see what that's like. We like that product. It looks nice. Let's incorporate that in our everyday with all our crews. Putting on 60 plus roofs a week, that can differentiate us from the rest of the people in the marketplace. We're finding things, and that all comes through this proof of concept. We started over here talking about a crew, and now we're moving on. Just trying to maximize your potential. The food truck example, let's say you're an existing restaurant. Well, what I like better is let's do proof of concept on a dish. I mean, I'm still here. I'm in the same location. I don't need to hire more people. It's ingredients and something different or something new or a twist. Let's see if they like it. And I'm sure that's done in restaurants all the time. Proof of concept. I think we're constantly testing in all these different areas. So whether it's a product we're providing on a roof, or a dish we've got in a restaurant, or a location we want to know if it's viable, or a keyword that we've got online, you're going to hear this over and over and over. It's test, come up with something new, test, come up with something new, test. I mean, it's kind of, it's kind of wash, rinse, repeat type thing till you find something that sticks. On a broad scale, I talk about this in marketing, a couple things, no matter what business you're in. What I've always done is I will take on any marketing, anything that sounds feasible, I'll take it on. And what I'm looking for is, can I break even? Can I break even? Can I break even? Can I break even? And I've got these, let's say we'll start small. We've got 3 or 4 marketing sources going, and they need to gain traction. As long as they're breaking even, I'm good. And the way that thing really works, when we get a little steam and really get going and we got a little money to put into it, what happens is I've got 12 of these things. I'm breaking even, I'm breaking even, I'm breaking even. I'm losing money, I'm going to get rid of that one. It's not breaking even, and it's more than 30 days. We try this thing out, give it a real legitimate college try. And then I got one over here, I'm making money. I'll make 10 grand this month on this one, or I'll make 5 grand on this one, and I'll make another 5 grand on this one. And that's how we make $20,000. Just a concept, right? I mean, this is what works. Hopefully we can cultivate those others that are just at break even. We can tweak them. We're testing. We're doing some different things. Is that proof of concept? I don't know. I think the lines get blurred a little bit, but I'd like to think so within the context of this conversation. I just encourage you, whether you're in the service industry or whether you've got a physical product, yes, get down there, take the time, get into it, get hands-on, get involved, try and prove the concept. If you're already in business and you're extremely successful, what's next? We're always pushing for the next thing. We're always reading. We're always learning. Right now, what are you doing with AI? What are you doing with that? What's that mean to your business? Do you think it doesn't apply to you because, I don't know, you're a roofer? Or it doesn't apply to you because you're in the construction industry? What's that got to do with AI? Well, are you talking to your customers? Are you getting 5-star reviews? Are you, I'll give you one, low-hanging fruit here, just a tip. If you want to increase your ratings online with the current Google algorithm, when someone gives you a review, you need to reply to it. And so you're not replying the same way every time. Take that thank you sentence or two that you've been using, plug it into Chat GPT, it'll say it a different way. And not to falsify or be fake about anything, but just help me think about a different way to say what I'm trying to say. I need a little help here. Let's just continue to progress and continue to get better. That's what's going to separate your business from the next person's business. That's what's going to differentiate you and make you better. But proof of concept, very important. It can be exciting. Some of the stuff's not going to work out, and you need to know that. They don't all make it. And I need to know it back here rather than when it really counts, if you will. Back here, I can correct their mistakes and fill in for them, and it's not so public, if you will. The other thing is get as much benefit as you can out of it and using proof of concept to your advantage rather than seeing it as a cost and a hindrance. Yeah, I encourage you guys. If you got questions, throw them at me. Happy to help you guys. Love you. See you in the next one.